So last lesson we looked at the compound interest and what that does and how we work it out. But what there actually is a formula to help us work it out. Instead of doing it year by year, finding the balance, putting that back in, finding the interest, we can do this in one go with a formula. So most savings account pay compound interest instead of simple interest. It's the interest that's added to the principal and reinvested to earn more interest, and it continues. So our compound interest formula is this here. So FV stands for the future value or the final amount. PV is our present value, the principal or interest amount, so how much you invest to begin with. N is the number of compounding periods, so that's the same as our simple interest. And R is our investment rate or the interest rate expressed as a decimal. Again, same as our simple interest. From here, you might be asked to not just find what the future value is, but you might be asked, well, what was the actual interest that was earned? So to find the interest earned, it's I equals FV minus PV. So what our future value was, and we take away what our present value or our principal amount was. So the problems that we sometimes encounter with this is that the interest rate and the number of periods may not be in the same unit. So it might say it's compounded monthly, but the interest rate is per year. So you need to do some calculations if you come up with that situation. So we've got our example here. Find the future value and compound interest earned when $5,500 is invested for 4 years. Now, the first part here is saying at 7% per annum. So we don't have to do any calculations. We're just going to use our formula. Okay, we write our formula out. PV stands for our principal amount. So 5,500, 1 plus. Now, we've got our interest rate of 7.5%. So our 7.5% is 0.075. Okay, if we turn that into our decimal multiplier. And N, which is our power, is the number of years, so 4. So what we do is we punch that into our calculator. Be mindful, there is a multiplication there. Your calculator should do it for you, okay? But if you want to add it in, there's a little multiplication sign there. And don't forget to make sure that's the power, and it's all of this in the brackets to the power. And that tells us at the end of 4 years, we have $7,345.08 in the account. So this tells us the amount that's in the account. It doesn't tell us just the interest earned alone like our simple interest does. So that's why we have that extra step to find, well, what was our interest? Oops, so we take our future value minus our starting value. So we get 7,345.08 minus our $5,500 to tell us that we earned $1,845.08. So nice and straightforward for that one. However, with B, it's the same percentage, same interest rate, but it's compounded monthly. So if we have 7.5%, we divide it by 100 to get to our decimal multiplier. We'd already done that previously. But if it's compounded monthly, it means I then need to work out, well, what is that percentage rate per month? And we end up with 0.00625. So that's our first step. From here, it's the same process. So we have our future value with our present value. We put in our information. So $5,500, 1 plus. Then we're using this interest rate, 0.00625, and it's compounded monthly. So for 4 years, that is 48 months. So you also have to make sure you convert. If it's in years, you need to convert it to what it's asking. If it's asking for days, you need to do that as well. So there's two little things that people can get caught out with here. It's that converting it to monthly, daily, weekly, whatever it might be, that percentage rate, as well as our periods. So make sure you do check it and you double check it yourself as well. So that gives us $7,417.30. Now, again, we need to find what our interest was. So we take what we had, so 7,417.30 minus 5,500. That tells us we earned $1,917.30. So as you can see, looking at that, it's actually better to have this one compounded monthly. So they've earned almost an extra $100 just by having it compounded every month as opposed to every year. So something to keep in mind when you're looking at those accounts and those savings accounts. What is it offering? What are the terms? When is the interest earned? How often? Things like that.